For the first time in the history of the Venture Forward, we have a guest host tonight. Call it a takeover, call it a guest host, call it Matt Haas doing what Matt Haas does best. Talking about how to be happy and how not to give a flip. If there's anyone that knows this topic backwards, forwards, and sideways, it's Matt Haas. He has been an incredible co-host of VF Talks. He's definitely been a really great friend, and he is a consummate live streamer. And I'm looking forward to his presentation tonight, as I'm sure you are too. That said, this is the Venture Forward.
Hello, Venture Forward audience. Hi, my name's Matt Haas. This is the channel takeover. John Ventrini has entrusted me into, I'm getting some feedback. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Okay, I'm good. So he let me do this. Can you believe this? He trusted me to host his show on the Venture Forward. I do a show with him on his channel on Fridays, VF Talks. This is not it. This is his proper show. I take this very seriously. I have prepared an awesome presentation for you. And since I'm running the show, we're going to do things a little different here. Let me know who's out there in the chat. I will not be responding with the chat because I'm going to be delivering awesome content. What content am I going to be delivering? Well, it's something that people ask me pretty often. They're like, Matt, do you do life coaching? You seem to always be having fun. You seem to have a great personality. Like, I want some of that. Well, the answer is no. I don't do life coaching, and I don't think I'll ever do life coaching. But I'm here to share with you how I've constructed my life, how I go about life to be maximum happy. And along with that is not giving a flying flip. So I will, if you have questions, put your questions in the chat, and I will have about 10 or so opportunities to deal with questions during the presentation. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do this. I've worked really hard at it. So let's jump right in. How to be happy. What do we got over here? Look at this. Let me come over to here. All right. I got to give you a warning. There will be vulgar words visible on the screen. Okay. I am choosing not to actually speak those words. It's just the way I roll. But this content is about life, and The majority of people spend a lot of their life not as children. So this is, not really for young people. This is for adults. And life is messy. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. No, no, no. So you're gonna see some bad words on the screen, and I hope you can just deal with that. So this is my presentation: how not to give a flying flip, or how to be happy. And I've chose this fun background, at least for this slide, because my favorite meme in the world is here. Behold, the field in which I grow my flips. Lay thy eyes upon it, and thou shalt see that it is barren. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, before I get too far, oh, I'm frozen. I hope I'm not frozen. Let me know if I'm frozen. I see someone reporting I'm frozen. Hope that's not the case. Um, so why me? Why we lost you, total black screen. Hmm. I hope that's not happening for everyone. Can everyone confirm that the screen's okay? I'd appreciate it. So why me? Why me? What makes me an authority? First of all, I'm not an expert. This is just works. This is what works for me. I will be giving you a lot of details. I will be okay. I will be giving you a lot of details and what to look out for, a lot of things like that. And sometimes how to actually implement those. I might not even actually have good answers, but again, this is what's working for me. Also, I've been alive over half a century and I've dealt with an awful lot in life. I know what works, I know what doesn't work. I used to be a public figure, and half of your decisions, the half the community hates you and half the community loves you. Like there's no fence sitting in that type of environment. So I got really used to doing what's right and letting the chips fall where they may. And that, I think, really shaped a lot of what you're going to see today. Because if you vote up, people want down. If you vote north, people want south, or east, people want west. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um, I run in a lot of circles. I run in a lot of circles, and people are saying the stream's going good now. Okay. I run in woodworking and making circles, baseball, YouTube circles, tech. I follow the world tech news. I know a lot of tech leaders in the industry. Believe it or not, I run in politics circles. You'd never know it. I don't speak about that ever online. I'm being a public figure. I'm very community focused. I'm always doing things in my community. A lot of people know me. And then I have a bunch of close friends. So I've seen how all of this sort of unfolds. I have a leadership role as an employee and I do things on my own. So, I'm driven that way. I work hard and I play hard. And that is as much of the credentials as I can give myself. And we're, and again, this is what works for me. I'm not an expert. I'm not a member of the recovery committee or community, excuse me. And the Venture Forward is a big. That's what the channel is. I did have some struggles, and I came close to some things, but I love people, and I love I love it all. So I'm thankful that they have welcomed me into this community, and I'd like to think that up until now I have contributed positively in many ways, and hopefully this presentation will also contribute positively. All right, now, I know I just gave a bunch of warnings about the bad words, but there's more. There's a couple more warnings. Me, me, me. You're going to hear a lot about. Oh, let me go back over to here. There we go. Um, So you're going to hear a lot about um, putting yourself first. And even on the Venture Forward, John talks about this, the metaphor when you're on a plane, put the mask on yourself first, the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then help others. Well, um, a lot of what I'm going to present is can seem very self-centered. It can seem very selfish, and it can even seem narcissistic. But I trust that you'll just be able to get through this with me and know that there's a reason for this. And also, those terms are not necessarily bad terms. I mean, no one can be 100% not selfish. No one can be 100% not narcissistic. If that was the case, you wouldn't survive because you got to look out for yourself to so there's shades of gray with everything. And then you'll also hear a lot of things I do to protect and a lot of actions that I take. And again, as far as being protected, JV or John Ventrini is not very protective because he trusted me with taking over his channel. So that's a big risk on his part. But again, I'm going to get through it. All right. Before I go any further, I just want to talk about my favorite word, liberty. Now, I have a photo here of the Statue of Liberty, which is in the United States, but this is relevant for other first world countries as well, because I know we have a large audience here. But this is my definition of liberty. If you want it and you work hard, you can have it. Nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody's going to make sure that you have it, but you can. And then my motto that I say to myself every day is make it happen. Make it happen. This is how to get through life. Now, the formal definition of liberty is a little more dry. It's the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. But again, what it really is if you want it and you work hard, you can have it. Not that you might be able to get it, you can have it. That's what liberty is. And I think that just sort of sets the tone. Now, as we work through the slides here, you will see a bunch of icons on the left-hand side. That's the roadmap. When we get to the bottom, we're going to be done. Okay. And just also, once we get into these are all concurrent. Okay. They don't happen one after the other. And now this is important because I know there's going to be a lot of keyboard warriors on here. They're optional. These in that rectangle are optional. They're strongly suggested, but they're optional. Just keep that in mind. All right. And another kind of roadmap level set type of deal here is this one. In my opinion, this is the entire Venture Forward channel is lives in that one little box. What we're talking about here is a holistic approach, a whole life approach to being happy. And you'll know more about this. When we get to here, I'm going to tell you how to be happy. And then here, I'm going to show you how not to give a flying flip. So we will get there. I promise we will get there. All right. Are there any comments we want to put up on screen now? And oh, wouldn't you know it? I am not able to read the comments because there is an icon in the way. Okay, good deal. Yeah, move the comments down south on the screen if you would. More. Okay, there you go. Hashtag make it happen. Good deal. All right, let's keep moving. If you have questions along the way, we are hooked on you, Mr. Haas. Thank you, Stuart Video. All right. Let's get into it, shall we? Now here is the symbols. You're going to see these symbols a lot. This is how it all works. The diamonds are questions. The green boxes are action. and then the white text is the result. Let me give you just a simple concept. Are you hungry? If the answer is no, you go down and you continue with this. You continue with the next thing. But if you are hungry, you eat something, and after you have eaten something, you're full, and then you go back to the top and ask yourself, are you hungry? Well, hello, in white text, you're full. So now you fall down through it. This is classic business analyst nomenclature or process here. So this is how. So I'm going to be asking questions along the way, okay, and then we're gonna see the actions to take corrective action. This is how we're going to do it. How to be happy and how to not give a flying flip. Are we ready? Again, question, action, result. Here we go. Here we go. Now you see how that first diamond is colored in? That's where we're at. That's the roadmap. This is a must. You cannot proceed unless you get this right. Okay? If you can't do what I'm about to show you, then then this presentation won't help you, and I can't help you. You shall not pass. If you got to get past this one. Okay, what is it? Here we go. Are you willing to do things differently to be happy? Ask yourself that question. Because if you continue to do the same thing, you're going to get the same thing. All right? Continue to be miserable. Rethink your answer. So be willing to do things differently. And I do have the word do in there. I didn't say think. Well, that's important too, but do. I'm all about action. Words are cheap. Action's where it's at. Okay? So once you're willing to do something different, now we can talk. All right? And now we're moving into the concurrent and optional thing. These next 7, you can do them all out of order and they're optional. But we'll start with this image. That is a unicorn. What do you think of when you see a unicorn? It's a pure animal. It's kind-hearted, okay? And this is an easy one. These are going to get a lot more difficult here. We're starting off easy. Do you have a good moral center? If you do, you can continue on with what we got going on here. If not, stop being evil. And when you stop being evil, the outcome or the result is you're a good person. So you need to be a good person. And this first slide should start setting up the whole theme of this presentation, which is to not give a flip. All right. It's much easier if you go at life with a good moral center. In other words, if you're a good person and someone's giving you flack, it's much easier to deal with that. Does that make sense? This is your armor. This is your shield. Okay. Now, again, it's possible. Remember, these are optional. These are optional. You don't have to have a good moral center to still be happy. But long term, it's probably not going to work out for you. Someone's going to ding you. If you don't have a good moral center, someone's going to say something or do something to you, and it's going to land and it's going to hurt, and you're not going to be able to talk your way out of it because you're going to realize you're a piece of garbage. And so, avoid all that. Be a good person. All right. And here's something funny. We all know what the term millionaire means. It's someone who has $1 million or more dollars. We all know what the term multimillionaire is. More than $1 million or multiple millions of dollars. Do you know what the term decamillionaire means? Decamillionaire. A decamillionaire is someone with 10 or more million dollars. And there is one characteristic shared by every decamillionaire, every single one. One characteristic, 100% of all decamillionaires share this one characteristic. They have a awesome moral center, so much so that the people around them are fiercely loyal. Fiercely loyal. You don't get fiercely loyal people on your team unless you're a good person. True story. Now, that's not saying to be a decamillionaire, all you have to have is a good moral center. Rather, it's one characteristic of every deca millionaire. All right. If there's any questions, we can flash them up. I don't think there were any comments that are question. Yep. Yep. Good deal. All right. Let's now. Oh, now we're gonna get messy. All right. See, this is why you're here, folks. This is why you're here. All right. Let's get messy here. All right. Are you free of destructive addictions? And if you are not, you need to fix that stuff. You need to fix it, and then you will be addiction free. Now, remember, this is, let me just go back here for a second. This is, it's in the triangle, it's in the rectangle. It is technically optional. You know, you can have a destructive addiction and be happy for a while, but it's not going to last long. And also, you might be asking, how, Matt? How do I get rid of it? Well, I don't have all of the answers. I just know that destructive addictions could lead and will lead to you not being happy. And you won't be able to get to the point where you don't give a flying flip if you have a destructive addiction. And the Venture Forward is the place that deals with that topic. And yeah, obesity, overeating, alcoholism, compulsive gambling, codependency, amongst others, says the Venture Forward. Yeah, yeah. But again, this could be an obstacle to being happy. Doesn't mean it will be, but in this case, it's going to be. It's gonna catch up to you, as we've seen here. Okay, coffee and tacos are acceptable. Um, they don't count. You know, I love me some tacos. I love me some tacos. And I do love coffee as well. All right. Now, okay. Well, we're going to get past this hard one and we're going to move into another hard one. All right. I, I can almost predict what most of the people are doing now. They're going to get on the keyboard and they're going to start hammering me because this is, we're dealing with money, and money can seem to be like a very self-centered type of item. Oh, you're a greedy SOB. Okay. All right. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Before we get into the topic though, I just want to cover one fun fact. Remember this? Money is the root of all evil. Okay. You heard that? You heard about that? Yeah, you heard about that. It's false. That is not the saying, people. That is not the saying. This is the saying. The love of money is the root of all evil. Money cannot buy happiness. Now, it can help you avoid problems and it can help your problems go away faster, but it does not equal happiness. It doesn't. Okay, so let's get back to it. Here we go. Do you control your earnings and expenses? All right, now I'm not talking about are you wealthy? I'm not talking about are you successful? And again, this is optional. This is optional. But the question at hand is, do you control your earnings and expenses? Do you control what's going in or do you control what's going out? If you're offloading that to someone else, that could be a problem. Not that it will be, it could be a problem. And you need to fix that. You need to fix that. And the result is control of your income. Okay, so this is a potential trouble spot that people can become very, very not happy and they could be stuck there because you should have control over it. This isn't about wealth. And again, this is very self focused. So the keyboard warriors are probably going to say, "Oh, Matt, you're all focused on yourself. This isn't a very good slide deck. Come on, you got to have compassion." I'm a passionate person. I'm a very generous person. But this is a potential pitfall that could wreck your happiness and will not get you to the point where you don't give a flying flip. All right. I can sense more daggers coming my way. Here's something else. This is obviously a parachute. All right. This parachutes also kind of have a money uh, flavor to them. A golden parachute. Did you ever hear that phrase? Golden parachute. If needed, could you be financially self sufficient? That's the question. Again, it's optional. You can be happy and not be financially self sufficient, but it's a risk. So ask yourself this question. If that's not the case, you need to fix it. And then once you fix it, you'll have peace of mind that financial freedom is possible. Can you live on your own? Can you pay the rent, pay the utilities, pay for food, pay for your car, pay for your car insurance? I mean, if you're dependent on someone else, that limits your option in life. And listen, it's uh, this is this is optional. This is a potential pitfall. I see we have a comment on screen. I wasn't able to look at that, but okay. Anyway, so yeah, you need to keep that in mind that this could be now. That doesn't mean you can't share a life with someone. That doesn't mean that you can't share expenses and be happy. You can. It's just think about it. Like if you needed to make a change, would you be stuck? It's just something to think about. You want no lock-in in life. That doesn't mean you can't be with someone and have an awesome relationship, which I certainly recommend and have myself. All right, here we go. More controversy is probably coming my way. Are there any comments up to this point? Because we covered some pretty deep topics, and they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. Do not spend more than you make. That's a great. That really is how to be wealthy. You just spend less than you make. It's not more complicated than that. Yes, it's very blissful state of being. Yeah, it's good to know. And quite frankly, for me, this isn't me. I mean, what I have here, it's a dual income situation. Like I couldn't have everything I have. I mean, I work, I'm at the top of my field, my wife works, she's at the top of her field, and we have the combined fruits of our labor. So again, this is optional. I'm happy, but this one I don't fully control. I'm gonna get up for 1 minute and open the door because the wind blew it shut. And my 9-pound dog is out there scratching. Hold on. Her name's Tinkerbell. All right, moving on here. Oh, video file not found. I don't know what happened there. I was on the wrong screen. Okay, here we go. Do 0 people control your happiness? Yeah. This can really be a danger spot in your life. Um, you need to change or end those relationships. This is major. This is major. End a relationship? Whew, that's pretty. No unhealthy relationships. Also, people don't often change. A lot of relationships get in trouble. Did you ever hear the phrase, "Oh, he's my work in progress," or, "Oh, I don't like this about her, but I'm gonna change her." It hardly ever works. And I'm pro relationship. Again, I think that's very important in life, is to find someone that has the same outlook as you. It's very important to get it right, to find someone right. Um, and But you can't have your happiness in someone else's hands. It's Now, again, it's optional. This is in the rectangle. It's totally optional. Like, you could exist for a long time like this, but it's a risk. It is a risk. Moving on. Look at this image. Okay. Stress. Stress. Let's talk about. Oh, I see a comment coming through here. You have to love you, and then you can love others. You own your own destiny and happiness. Yes, very much so. Are there any other comments we want to put on screen? Wow, powerful message right there. Excellent. Oh, it's coming. More good stuff is coming. We can only change ourselves. A lot of my presentation is you taking action. Okay. I'm big on agency. People who have agency to control their own outcome. All right, so let's talk about stress. And let me get back to the right. There we go. Are you unfazed by external societal issues? This can wreck your happiness. So let's see how to fix that. You fix it by not fixing that stuff. And then you're free of stress from things you have little or no control over. Societal issues. Like, are you caught up in politics? Do politics cheese you off? Do world events wreck your happiness? You got to fix what you can fix, and you can't let it phase you. Are you unfazed by external societal issues? Be unfazed. Now, there are things in the world that can and should stress you out. Oddly, those things aren't talked about very much. Like, the real problems of the world are usually not front and center. I can think of a few. I can certainly think of a few. Um, Taiwan, for example. China is sort of making moves to take over that country. That would be bad on the world stage because they make semiconductors. They're one of four semiconductor plants. A semiconductor plant is a multiple billion-dollar investment that takes a long time to ramp up and takes a long time to change. I mean, those chips are the same. Anyway, that would wreck the world if that country controlled Taiwan. The petrodollar might go away. They're talking about the petro yuan and the petro ruble. America has monopoly on the currency traded for gasoline. That could really, I mean, those are real societal issues. But can I change them? I can't influence those things. You can't let it phase you. The things you can fix, you should fix. And this is more of a, how to how to this is more less about how to be happy and more good life choices. But for me, when I try and fix something, I go to the source to fix it or the group to fix it. I don't blast my problems out into the internet and just that's not healthy. And I don't do it. I don't do it. When When my car was broken into, of course, I was mad. And I started to wonder, why didn't I know about crime going on in the neighborhood? Turns out the newspaper, remember the printed newspaper? This was 15 years ago. Well, they stopped printing crime reports because they needed to save space, to save money, because that industry is dying. And so no one knew. No one knew. They used to put it in the township newsletter. They cut that out. And so I went to the township commissioners and I was like, look, people are lulled into a false sense of security because this news isn't getting out. There is a free service that only police departments can use that allow the community members to opt into the service, and then they can get text messages sent from the police department about crime issues. I'm like, set this up. And they're like, thank you, Mr. Haas. This sounds great. We don't have the technical expertise to do that. I'm like, I'm a tech expert. I'll set it up and train your staff for free. They're like, all right, let's do it. Next thing I know, I'm standing in front of 20 uniformed police officers and I am telling them what to do. So I do take care of issues, but did I go on Facebook and complain about it? No. I go direct and I take care of it. That's just a side how to be good at life type of comment here. And also vague booking. The one time my friend was like, "Oh yeah, Matt, you vague book all the time." I'm like, "Oh really?" You know what vague booking is? It's like, um, I just can't deal with it today, and then that's all they put. Like they don't put the reason. They just put something vague, and then the comments come in, and some people like that. I never do that. If you do it, that's fine. I don't do it. And I said to my friend, I'm like, I'll tell you what. I'll give you $100 if you look back on my Facebook timeline, going all the way back to 2009. I'm like, if you find one instance of vague booking, I'll give you an hour. If you find one instance of vague booking, I'll give you $100. If you can't, you give me $1. $1 to 100. Guess who won that bet? I was $1 richer that day. So anyway, don't be unfazed by external societal issues. And when you can fix something, even at the community level, like, I mean, that's what I did, helped all 50,000 people in my community. It's possible. It's possible. Any comments before we move on? Move on to the next slide. Serenity prayer assists me multiple times a day, except the things I cannot change. Well, there you go. There's something to that. Serenity prayer, and then he lists the serenity prayer. Yep, the wisdom to know the difference. It's healthy to take a break. Okay. Moving on here. Look at this slide. Now we're getting somewhere. We're still in the optional phase here. Do you have positive plans for the future? That's the question. Do you have positive plans for the future? No? Make plans. Know the future is bright. Like, why get out of bed if you don't have anything to look forward to? How do you make plans? Hey, I don't have all the answers, but the world is abundant. I know there's supply chain issues. I know but relatively speaking, stuff is out there and you can have it. And there's lots of things to do. You should have something to look forward to, and you should work towards something. Life isn't just grinding away at a job and then coming home, going to bed, waking back up and doing it again. Make plans for the future. It's important. Look at that. All right. Now we're off the optional stuff. Look at this. Look at the face of that kid. That is pure happiness. And remember what I said, this diamond here is how to be happy. So let's talk about it. Do you know what makes you happy? Do you know what makes you happy? If you don't, figure that stuff out. When you do, you're passionate about one or more things. And then, if you do know what makes you happy, let's follow the yes path. Next slide. What? No diamond? No other question? And remember, the question was, do you know what makes you happy? Well, this must be an action. What's the action? Do what makes you happy. And then once you do what makes you happy, repeat. It's not that difficult. And, it doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. Let's just look at some of the oddball things that makes Matt happy. What? Yes, I love lawn care. I didn't think I would like it 3 years ago. I decided to I love it. Woodworking. I love woodworking. Making stuff with my hands. I'm a creative person. I work on the computer all day. Turn the computer off, there goes my art. Woodworking is persists. All my woodworking exists even when the computer's off. I know it's weird. Rubik's cube. I can do a Rubik's cube in under 3 minutes. That's cool. Coin operated video games. Love them. I love to learn. I love roller coasters. I love art. I am an artist. I love tech. And it's not just gadgets, it's tech companies and what tech can do for you to improve your life. Music and piano 3 years ago, almost to the day. I think it has been exactly 3 years to the day where I started to learn the piano. Isn't that crazy? I started when I was 49 years old. Who does that? I do. Horology. I love watches. Watches are so cool. Science fiction, 80s hair bands, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Judge Judy. Yes. Yes. Judge Judy. I'm a big Judge Judy fan. Tacos, people. I love people and I love to code. Listen, it doesn't matter. And notice how these things they're not physical objects. Well, I guess the Rubik's Cube and the watch are physical objects. That doesn't make you happy. These are experiences. These are things I like doing and communities that, that I run around in. But you know, these aren't expensive, not all of them. But it's what makes you. It doesn't matter. Figure out what makes you happy. Like think about when you were a kid. What did you do when you were a kid? Would you collect baseball cards? Boom. Do that as an adult. It doesn't matter. You could do whatever you want. And it doesn't matter. People are like, oh, Matt, you're learning the piano. Why do you want to do that? Because I feel like it. and I did. Any questions up to this point? Yeah. Judge Judy. Don't, I mean, listen. Here's this should be a prerequisite for all parents of young children about ready to go off into the world. You should sit them down and force them to watch 20 episodes of Judge Judy, and you will see very clearly how things have ended up between two people who think they're going to, get an apartment together and how sideways it can go. So you see the result, like you can feel the good intentions that the plaintiff and the defendant had going into it, and you can see the train wreck that has occurred that they need a judge to deliberate on. It really sets you up with what to do and what not to do in life. That's why I love Judge Judy. And I wrote a letter because this was years ago. Years. She's been on the air for decades. And I asked if she had I wanted to buy a coffee mug. I don't see any merch. I'd love to have a coffee mug. And she sent me her people obviously did a headshot with it signed. I thought that was neat. That was back when you had to do snail mail. I agree with everything you said except what you said about all decamillionaires having good moral centers. Well, yeah, there are There could be differences, but you can't be a decamillionaire on your own. You need a team of people who are fiercely loyal, and in order to have that type of loyalty, well, they'll go on the line for you, and they'll bend over backwards for you, and they'll work 80 hours a week for you, and they'll go everything they do for you is at the top level of excellence. That's hard to get out of people if you're a horrible person. It really is. It really is. Um, and so that's what was determined for decamillionaires. All right, here we go. How to be happy. We got some doom and gloom slide coming up here. This is what you've been waiting for. All right. Is someone giving you crap for doing what makes you happy? That's the question. And the green box to come is how not to give a flying flip. But let's first take a side road to look at why. Why do people give you crap? Why do people act that way? Why do people try and bring you down? Well, they either want to be you, they may not put in the work to be you, but they want to be you. Me, I bust my butt. I work hard all the time and I play hard. Or they hate themselves. People have problems. People have legitimate problems. Or they see you as a threat. Boom. That's why people treat you badly. It's one of those three things. So let's look at the question again. Is someone giving you crap for doing what makes you happy? Here we go. F that mother effer. That's how you don't give a flying flip. That's what you say in your head. And think about it. Think think about this. Go back to the optional stuff that we've covered. Like if you're a good person and your intentions are clear and you're not trying to hurt anyone and someone gives you crap, that's your armor. That's your shield against that stuff. Well, and then it's got to be this or that. It helps you get through it. Um, this is about control. It's like you that's what you got to say to yourself. Oh, someone's trying to put ding you, someone's trying to bring you down. F that mother effer. That's how you not give a fuck. And that's possible if all those prerequisites are sort of in line. Some those things could go south, and that can wreck your happiness, and it can make you not get to this point. But you're a good person. You're doing good in this world. You're not trying to hurt nobody. And then someone's trying to put problems on you. That's how you not give a flying flip. Now let's talk about some examples here. Okay, go a few examples, and then we'll open it up for a more robust back and forth discussion. So here's the winning sword. Okay, here you go. This is just a few examples, some serious, some sort of lighthearted, but here we go. Someone said to me about something that happened, like someone wronged someone else, and some other friends started to try and figure out what was going on, and it had all settled down. And one of my friends says to me, "Hey, Matt, I heard this person's side of the story. Now I want you to tell me your side of the story, and then so I'll have the whole picture." And that's what the friend said to me. This is my friend said to me. It's like, why does your opinion matter? Or if you want to be a little bit aggressive about it, your opinion means nothing to me. Like this was a third party, all my friends, but this was someone who wasn't involved in the squabble or whatever it was. I'd shut it down real quick, because the friend was all ready to like throw facts and weigh. I'm like, why do I even want to get into this? So that is one way to kind like you. are not above anyone else, and no one else is above you. Like, that's how you have to think about life. Everyone is equal. Doesn't matter what their standing is in the community, doesn't matter what their power or wealth is. Everyone should treat everybody the same, and no one is has an exception to that. So this is one way to if someone's trying to butt into your business, and especially if strangers, like random randos on the internet, they want to get into your business, or they want to weigh in, they want to tell you what they think of something that you've done or said. Like, why does your opinion matter? It's one way to kind of deal with that type of thing. Okay, here's a lighthearted one. And this just goes to the example of my mind and how I deal with this. I bought prescription sunglasses and they had a red frame. I still wear them to this day. Someone says, "Your red sunglasses remind me of," and I forget who it was. It was some B-list celebrity that was kind of universally, I don't want to say hated, but it was just someone who was kind of like a jerk. And I didn't know who it was, but they pulled up the Wikipedia page and said, "Oh, you remind me of this guy. He's got red glasses too." Okay, well now remember I said like everyone should be equal. So like I was like, well, at least he has good taste in sunglasses. Like, I didn't know what this guy did or didn't do. I didn't know what the controversy was around this other person that had. But do you see the mindset there? And then it was a non-issue. These were prescriptions. You know how much prescription sunglasses are? I mean, they're not like $10 at the dime store. Dime store. Where'd that come from? Anyway, like you see how you can kind of deal with this. Okay, now let's get into some other stuff. Oh, this is an evil tactic here, where someone says, "I noticed you," and then they describe something you did, and then they say, "Therefore you are," and then paint you as awful. Well, not every action means you're so, the response is, "Well, as a matter of fact, I did do that." You agree with them, but your conclusion is way off. Your conclusion is wrong. Like, just because I did this that one time doesn't mean so there's ways to kind of, and so here, the hater would probably want to argue all the points back and forth, just shut him down. Like, no, I did do that, but I didn't do that for the reason that you've come up with. When you kind of agree with the hater, if there's a point that actually is true, but they're spinning it wrong, they're all ready to go at you on the point, but you've agreed. Doesn't work in every situation, but in some situations it could anyway. Again, this is kind of how to navigate, how to not give a flying flip. These are ways to make things not turn into problems so you can get to the point where you don't give a flying flip. And then here, someone wrongs you in some way. It could be an innocent comment to kind of knock you down a peg, or it could be something actually, mean spirited. Here's what I do: state your objection immediately. No blowing it off. No going, "Oh, I'm going to deal with it later. Once I cool down." No, 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 no. You gotta state your objection immediately. Now, you do not have to solve the problem. You do not have to try and fix it. Definitely don't lay hands. Like, I'm not for that. But you have to at least state the objection immediately. Why? Because bullies get ravenous around weak people. Don't be weak. You just got you gotta call out the nonsense, and you gotta do it right away. And they'll think twice about doing. Oh, Matt threw some friction my way. I'm gonna think twice about getting snarky with him, or trying to knock him down a peg or something like that. And then this is a power play, like agree and amplify. Like this, this is expert mode here. But if someone puts a ding or tries to you know, knock you down a peg, depending on what they say, Again, you agree. Remember how I said how powerful agreement is on that one example? Because you've agreed. They don't have any ammunition if you agree. And then you amplify it to the absurd. In other words, you just take it to a level that's just completely ridiculous. That takes the wind right out of people. Takes the wind right out of them. Someone says, "Oh, you're ugly." Well, your response as an agree and amplify response could be, "Thanks for noticing. I actually won ugliest in show at the county fair once." Ugliest in show at the I won a it's like, and you've agreed with them. You agreed with them. So they can't you can't say, "Oh, I'm not ugly." "Yes, you are. I don't like your eyes. I don't like your bald spot." I got the bald spot came. I don't care. Um, so that takes a little bit. But these are kind of ways, like if you're thinking the way I think, how you can slide past some of these trouble spots and not have them get in your way. I mean, think about that one comment. Am I not going to wear my, I don't know what I paid, $175 prescription sunglasses? Am I going to not wear those because someone said someone else is going to, anyway. Yeah. So that is one way to deal with that. And that leads me to the end of the presentation. Set yourself up. Try not to have those trouble spots in your life, or there's potential trouble spots in your life. Again, I have some. I did not answer all of those the way they were supposed to be answered. I'm still happy. Um, and then find something you love to do and just do it. Have plans for the future. And then if someone does try and give you flack, know why they're doing it. Those three reasons. And if you're a good person and you're not trying to hurt anyone, then their comments are just hurtful comments. It doesn't matter. That's how I get through life. That's how I am happy most of the time. Life has ups and downs, even towards me, even for me. Um, but that's how you do it. And I don't give a flying flip about most things, especially what other people think. Now, I take care of my appearance. I take pride in some things, but I, for the most part, I really don't care what you think. If I'm covered in sawdust and I need to go to Home Depot, I'm going to Home Depot covered in sawdust. It's actually not that uncommon, but you know what I mean? it's That's probably not the best example, but believe me, like, John's hung out with me in social circle. He knows that some of these things I just don't let bother me. All right. We can open this up. If there's any more comments, let's get through some comments here. Thank you for letting me do this. I know this was a little bit of a different show. I wasn't commenting with text. Sorry about that. But as a takeover, you can have different rules. This isn't, you know, this is anyway. So any comments here? I think cooling off is better for being able to expressing yourself without blowing up at someone. Yeah, no, I'm not for blowing up. I'm just for stating your objection. It could be calmly. It just could be a few words. Doesn't have to done. I mean, you don't have to yell. I'm just like, hey, that was a crappy thing you said. I don't agree with you. You're wrong. That's all you got to say. And then, what they do after that and what you do after that is not really relevant. You have to lodge the complaint immediately. That's the way I do it. My mom gave me the same advice. Just agree with them. Oh, here come the comments. Okay. Um, okay. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present you this information. If you have questions, let me know. John, I appreciate you taking the risk, letting me do this on your channel as a takeover. John's dealing with an awful lot today. He's had a rough day, and I certainly put him through the ringer with the show prep because I'm like, I want it this way, not this way. No, not that, like that. I was pretty on him about it. Felt kind of bad. Great topic. Thank you, Matt. Excellent. Your advice is so true, says Stuart. Thank you. Thank you. And again, I am a generous, I am a passionate person. I know a lot of these things seem self-centered. You got to fix yourself. You can't help others if you aren't fixed yourself. That's very important. And a lot of that came through in this presentation. But John knows me. He knows I'm not a self-centered SOB. He knows he sees how I've dealt with people. He knows, yeah, still, this stuff is important. This stuff is important. Go forth, be happy. We'll wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone. Catch me on the interwebs. I am Super Terrific Awesome Show is Fridays, 5:45. VF Talks, I co-host on this channel, 6:30 on Fridays. All Things YouTube is my show on Mondays. I go live Monday through Friday on the What's Going On with Matt Haas show on Awesome Fun Things, 8:15 in the morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all.